but the plan was to have the back of the bench seat swivel up and lock into place to add the last foot and a bit for our full-length bed. About to pick up the largest order of van stuff that we've made yet.
There's so much stuff.
Never had so many packages that I had to move the vehicle. So many things to inspect. Janelle, can I pause you for a moment?
What do we have going on here?
Remember back in November when we picked up that massive pallet of stuff down in the States?
Yeah.
I just showed them some of that footage, and I realized in the footage we didn't really tell them at all what any of those things were. So we should probably tell them that, because I would be interested.
We should probably tell them.
That was back in November, so that was a while ago. And what we picked up was our main electrical system parts. So our main 4 batteries from Battleborn, and also our inverter and some other pieces. We're gonna do a whole video on our electrical system, actually multiple videos. So it's gonna be, we'll give more context for that. But we also got some pieces here that I wanna show you. I'm being careful not to show you what's happening over on that side, because we've got some secret projects going on. If you're feeling like you want this project to be going quicker,
so do we.
we do as well. So don't worry, we're about to make some strides, but then at the same time, I'm also about to leave on sailing workshops for 10 days. We had a question off the top we wanted to ask you, and that was what you thought of us starting a Patreon. This is something that I've gotten feedback from you in the past, where you've said, just go for it. So I wanted to throw the question back at you again. How do you feel about a Patreon? One of the things we were trying to think through is doing like a founders start launch to it, where everyone gets Life's Better When You Make Stuff stickers.
The founders get Life's Better When You Make Stuff stickers.
Yeah, these are bigger than, I've made Life's Better When You Make Stuff stickers in the past that I've given out to people at conferences and stuff. These are bigger than that. These have never been received by anyone before. So Janelle, what are some of the things that were in that order?
So we went ahead and bought small quantities of some of the things we wanted to test out before we went and bought like dozens of them. So one of the things we got was this puck light for the ceiling.
Really nice color from those guys.
Yeah, it's nice and warm and actually really bright. These black latches for cabinets and stuff.
I think a knockoff version of a metal version, which is about 3 times more expensive.
And these cool black plugins.
Plugins, outlets. Yeah, plugins works just fine. Okay, quick lightning round. This is the display for our battery monitor. This is a USB-C power outlet for powering our laptops. This is a dimmer switch, which is fairly inexpensive and low profile. Just other big switches for turning off our battery bank. This is a switch panel. It's a little expensive for what it is, but a cool thing is that you can do AC with these switches as well. And a shower faucet, which has this quick disconnect feature, which actually seems to be decent enough quality. The other thing we got is this big fan, which we're using to hold everything right now. It's just a cheap DC fan, and we're gonna rig it up in the back window to create airflow out the back for really hot times in the van. Yes. Well, did that sound like
that?
And then you ended?
Bad.
I meant like Utah hot. That's what I was picturing Utah hot times.
Can you do it again?
Over the last 4 years, I've been making adventure films out of my Sprinter van. Now, together with my wife Janelle, we are finally giving our van the build out it deserves.
Whole water system that we've been framing out. Levi's been welding together these pieces to make sure it's nice and square and our water tanks aren't going to go anywhere. And now today we're working on the other side. And so this is where most of our electrical system is going to go, and it's going to have cabinetry on the upper half. The drawer that's going to roll out the back of the van is going to be right in this section in the middle under the bed. And so we're trying to figure out how the slides are gonna go on, and I don't know how it's all just gonna work together.
here that's 4 foot 3 inches and a half. And then what is it down here? Oh, they're the same. Let's get the welder set up. And again, this is like a hobbyist, more affordable end of the aluminum spectrum as far as what you can use to weld together aluminum. Ideally, I would have a better TIG welder for doing aluminum, but I don't. But a spool gun like this with a MIG welder doing aluminum is more ideal for going quickly, but it might not get you beautiful or super structural welds. So we're trying to use one tool to do two jobs, and it's not going to do the aluminum as well. This is the heaviest duty spool gun we can get with this welding setup, and it's not very heavy duty. A lot of the parts inside are plastic. So I've been doing some test builds of aluminum. I built this chair here out of 1-inch aluminum that was basically just a test. Could I put together aluminum and have it be sturdy enough to hold my fat butt? And it could. And then I went on and I wanted to try build this welding cart. And that gave me a chance to really practice some of these aluminum welds here, where I'm actually trying to make something that's sturdy and solid, but the welds are there. So this is just like bird poop style welds. Like, they don't look great at all. My biggest objective when trying to weld together the aluminum is actually making sure that there's good penetration. I don't want to just be using my welder like a metal caulker just to like make a weld on the outside. I need it to actually dig into the master material, I don't know the term for that, the work material, and actually hold it together. So that way if I do some grinding or doo-doo, we got doo-doo welds, and if I grind those doo-doo welds away, I need a weld to actually have penetrated deeper than that to hold the material. For the record, I don't like man buns, okay? It's just practical sometimes.
Is it green in real life or just green on the screen? It looks green on the screen.
I don't know, I think we're just gonna get going at it and see if the structure holds together well. I feel like I'm gonna tack this thing all together. I'm gonna feel like it's square, then I'm gonna pick it up and it's gonna be like a sloppy noodle. That is incredibly light, actually. This one boy is going to come in right here. What I can't figure out is why I'm getting so much soot. Fabric cobbling, that's why we call it fabric cobbling. Again, that's a term that I learned from Alex Steele. We're just cobbling things together. No, we don't deserve the term of fabrication. Yeah, we've now got to keep moving around here and get this rail attached to the side. This is the wrong piece, but we're gonna have a piece that's long enough attached to the side, and that will tell us the final height to end up doing this piece when we get in the van. I made a frame out of aluminum. What I finished last night was tacking together this aluminum frame, which is undercut, so that way our drawer is full width, but then our cabinets on top of it come in, and so our bed would end right here, and then cabinets straight up. And the sizing of all this stuff is really important because that dictates then what size the bench seat is, which then dictates what size the drawers are here and the galley here. To have a back of a bench seat right here, we just have a temporary bench seat in, but the plan was to have the back of the bench seat swivel up and lock into place to add the last foot and a bit for our full length bed.
So cool.
Is it?
Yeah. When you just go to work and come back and it looks like this. I think it feels cooler than if you like spent so many hours making it, because then you saw it in incremental and all of a sudden it's like, wow, we like.
See, I've spent like 3 days on this, and I look at it, I'm like, I'm still at this stage.
I know.
That's what it feels like.
But and not that this is like what's gonna stay here, but this feels like I'm imagining that bench turn and like, wow, this is like spacious. I think the kitchen feels maybe a little small, but
We've got the left side framed in. We've got the right side framed in. Still got to finish some stuff going on up there, but most of our measurements and design ideas so far are adding up. There's some question marks in the front area of how we're gonna do the bench seat thing, but we just take it one step at a time.
it's coming together.
And we'll catch you in another video. It's starting to look like we have the beginnings of a camper van.
Coming together. It's so exciting. Get some Life's Better swag, and don't forget, life's better when you make stuff.